Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my last book haul of 2021. I hauled a lot of books in 2021 and I'm sure the trend will continue in 2022. That is just the way of me, as we can tell. Before we get into that, I do want to thank today's sponsor, and yes, it is the oh so amazing book of the month. If you don't know what book of the month is, I feel like I rave about them all the time, but it is a monthly book subscription service that ensures readers are getting great quality reads to their doorstep. Basically, they choose about 5 titles from a multitude of genres, and so there's always something to choose from, and they tend to just be new, debut, exciting, up-and-coming authors that they think readers will love. And they're not normally wrong. It is a really great service. It is incredibly affordable, especially if you are someone who is trying out new genres, someone who is expanding their library, or just someone who is looking to read more books and get them delivered to your house at a great cost. They are for you. They are also running a fantastic deal right now. If you use the code JOLLY, you can get your first book for $5. $5. We're talking a hardcover book for $5 if you use the code JOLLY. I will have a link down below if you are interested. If at any given time you are not interested in any of the books, maybe you're in a reading slump, maybe you just haven't had the time, you can skip at no charge whatsoever. You can choose from one of their add-ons. I do have December's selection as well as some of their add-ons to show you today, so you can see what your choices are this month. I will say I think that this would be an absolutely fantastic gift. I would love to get Book of the Month as a reader. If someone paid for the subscription and I got to choose the book, I would absolutely love that. I think it would be fantastic, especially if you aren't sure what someone's reading taste is like. And like I said, most of their selections are absolutely fantastic. With that being said, let me show you the selection that we have for this month. The first book that we have is Olga Dies Dreaming, and this follows Olga and her brother, and they have made a name for themselves in New York. Now, their mother abandoned them for political reasons whenever they were children, and they were left to be raised by their grandmother. However, their mother has come back into their life and is just stirring up some trouble. On top of that, this is set on the backdrop of Puerto Rico's worst hurricane that they ever had, and it is about political corruption, familial strife, and the very notion of the American dream, all while trying to weather a storm. So, I think this sounds incredibly impactful and touching. Next, we have what sounds like an absolutely fantastic mystery thriller. I'm so excited. A Flicker in the Dark. This follows Chloe, and when she was 6 years old, several girls went missing in her area, and her father ended up confessing to it and being put away for life. Now she is an adult, she's getting ready for her wedding, and girls start going missing, and it is quite similar and eerily similar to the way things happened the summer that the girls went and disappeared when her father confessed. So now she's making parallels, and she may have to unmask a killer yet again. I think this sounds so good. I love these dark, terrifying mysteries, and this one just seems absolutely fantastic. Next, we have a memoir that sounds incredibly powerful, and that is Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. This follows Ashley's life, and her father has been incarcerated and she's not sure why. It is about her navigating as she is growing into womanhood and the different changes in her body and what that means from society, and also how she ends up having to deal with assault. And we also find out how she navigates finding out why her father is incarcerated and all the different complicated familial ties that come with that. So this is relatively short for being about so much, but I feel like I've been seeing a really glowing review so far, so I'm very intrigued by this. The problem with Book of the Month is that I never have just one pick, and I tend to get more than one because they all sound so good. But I have 2 picks this month because you would know this one because I checked it out of the library already, and that is The Holiday Swap because I literally checked it out of the library because I knew I was interested in reading this. I will say I have already read this, and this is such an adorable Christmas romance. This follows twin sisters who end up swapping places because one of them is like a TV star in LA and she ends up getting a concussion and she's not allowed to work. However, her career is on the line. So she asks her twin sister, who just runs their family bakery in a small town, if they can swap places in order for things to go well. Her sister agrees because she's dealing with a breakup that just won't end. Like, he's not getting the hint at all. Like, he is not moving on. So, they end up swapping places. What they don't expect is to fall in love. So, both of them end up meeting people in these new places, and things go from there. And, of course, swapping places, always a good idea. Nothing could ever go wrong. But, very cute story, very Christmassy, very cozy. Last one I'm so excited for. This is probably one of my most anticipated releases. If you are a fan of the movie The Village, this is giving me The Village vibes. And that is A History of Wild Places. A private investigator is hired to search for a missing woman who has apparently disappeared in a town that once existed. There was a cult there, but it has since... it's not supposed to exist. So this private investigator goes, he disappears. Years later, we follow someone inside of this cultish community. And the thing is, like, outsiders aren't allowed in. You can't access the outside world kind of deal because the sickness will come for them. So the character that we are following, what is his name? Theo, who is a lifelong member of this community, comes across this investigator's abandoned vehicle, and he's like, hold up, something's weird here. So him and his family work in secret to uncover the town's secrets. But what would happen if they get caught, and what is going on with this cultish town? I think that this sounds so freaking good. I am so excited about this. This just, oh, the moment I read the synopsis, I was like, I need it in my life. So that is my pick. And then this last one I feel like will be pretty popular as well because it is from John Green, and that is the Anthropocene reviewed. Anthropocene reviewed. Anthropocene. I'm not saying this right. I feel like I am not saying this right. Collection of essays, I believe, that have been adapted from his podcast that are about falling in love with the world and the diversity of the world and the different technologies and natures of the world. And I think it seems like it would be a fairly quick read, and it seems quite interesting, and I know this podcast is quite popular as well. So this, I feel like, would be a really good gift for podcast lovers. Just a thought. And if you're interested in Book of the Month and any of those books and getting any of those books and putting them on your shelves, hit the link below, put in the code JOLLY, and get your first book for $5. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. On to the books that I have since acquired. I actually had some credits on my Book of the Month account that I hadn't used yet, that I just like didn't pick something for the month, and so I had credits, and I ended up getting some of their backlist books that they've had in previous months or that were add-ons at some point. So I ended up getting Head Over Heels, which I've heard pretty good things about. This is like a rom-com-y type thing, and this was actually on my radar this year to get to. And this follows Avery. She was training to be an Olympic gymnast. Anyway, she was training to be an Olympic gymnast, and something happens, and basically she gets injured, she can't go, and her teammate goes on to compete and ends up marrying their coach. So she goes back to her small town, and she is approached by one of the local coach comes to her and asks if she will help train another girl on being an Olympic gymnast, essentially. So she takes this on, and she is not only surprised by the talent of this girl, but also the sparks flying with the coach. So I think this sounds really cute. And then so many people have raved about this year. It's on my list, and when I saw it on there that I could get it, I was like, give it to me. Give it to me. And that is The City We Became. I honestly am not 100% sure what this is about. It is like myths and legends are taking on a life. We're following some characters who can like feel and just like can feel the life of the city, quite literally. They can feel the rhythm of it. And this follows, it takes place in New York City, and it is essentially about how New York City has like 6 of these lives, essentially, I guess, made from myth and legends and whatnot. And I guess we are delving into that and learning the magic of this world and all that good stuff. So I'm not really sure. I've heard amazing things. The premises seems very interesting. So we will see if my brain can comprehend this. So I picked up some free things from the library that they were getting rid of, one of which was Alligator Candy. This has been on my list for a long time. This is true. It is a memoir about this young boy who bikes through town to go get candy, and he never returns home. And it is about his disappearance, and his brother wrote this book about basically how the disappearance left him very unsettled, but also just has shocked him. And he's just very unsatisfied with how everything turned out. And as he looks back on those days and things like that. So they had the Queens of Innis, Lear, and this is a King Lear retelling, which is probably like my second favorite Shakespeare play ever. So I was pretty excited that this was on the shelf. I was like, give it to me, give it to me. Do I know anything other than that? No. I have a ruthless commander, a master manipulator, and a star-blessed priest, and they're gonna have to figure something out. I'm not too sure. I feel like I've seen really good things about this, so I am intrigued. It is a hefty one. It is very hefty. I want to get into more adult fantasy. I'm just always terrified. So at least I have it. Right? It can continue to scare me, but at least I have it. The other one that I picked up is Song of Blood and Stone. This just sounded really interesting. I don't think I've really seen anyone talking about this, but this is 2 fantasy kingdoms that have been separated for centuries due to the mantle, which is kind of like this veil type thing. However, the mantle is starting to crumble and it is starting to lose its power. Well, our main character, her Earth Song, actually holds the key to finding a way to kind of strengthen this mantle so that they are not invaded. So she and someone else go on this mission to hunt down the secrets of the mantle in order to kind of save their kingdom. Butchered the synopsis of that because I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of words on here that I was like, I don't know what that is yet. I don't know what that means yet, but we'll get there. For my book box, I don't know if I've hauled this yet or not, but just in case I haven't, Once Upon a Broken Heart was my Fairy Loot book from last month, and it just seems really cute. It is about a girl who finds out that the man that she loves most is going to marry another. So she strikes the deal with the Prince of Hearts, and he's cold. He is a cold-hearted person. And so his deal is that he can have a kiss from her anytime he wants, though. Like 3 kisses at his choosing. So something is up his sleeve. So as they are trying to do that, she starts, I'm assuming, realizing that he has other schemes. And this isn't really anything that I know much about, but I am intrigued by this series. I want to read it and I just want to binge it. So I ended up buying the sequel, and that is Our Violin Ends. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. It is beautiful. I love the coloring of this so much. The only thing I really know is that These Violent Delights, also a Book of the Month book, it takes place in Shanghai, and it's kind of about like gangs. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and we follow like 2 gang members from different gangs who fall in love. I've heard fantastic things, so I had to get the second one in order to binge read this series. I am so excited. That is it for the last book haul of the year. I have some exciting plans for some future book hauls. I want to do some different ideas for them, spice them up a little bit, see what we can do. But yeah, I hope that you all have liked this video. Don't forget to check out Book of the Month if you're interested. Again, a link will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!